All right. LDWMMAC, there's your boy, the Coach. You're live on the Coach Show, Live. Okay, folks, I want to go ahead, and there are two people that I want to, go ahead and just address a few talking points. That's the brother BFTV and also the Zulu Fight Channel. Okay, I want to go ahead and address these talking points. This is a situation where we're not going to agree, okay? I'm not going to try to change BFTV's mind or the Zulu Fight Channel. I'm not going to change their mind. That's not why I'm here, but I am going to present the information, okay? Now, first, I'm going to start off with BFTV, okay? I'm going to start off with my brother. Okay, so I got it, very, very, very extremely good video. The graphics, man. Hey, man, he taking them to a whole nother level. But I'll say this, okay? Amanda Nunes has been knocked out twice in MMA. Absolutely right. Okay? Got no argument there from me. She was knocked out by Alexis Davis and Zingano. Okay? Here's what I want to go ahead and just really try to put you up on and try to really, really get you to understand how the knockouts happen. Okay? Amanda Nunes, she's never been knocked out standing. She's never been knocked out standing in MMA. I want you to know that those knockouts, okay? The knockouts, BFTV, they happen on the ground. But let's really talk about how they happen. Because I really want to get you a visual. Because I can't pull up the video. I'm not at my computer, because normally I would do this at my computer, but I just don't have the time. I want to get you a visual. Okay? The knockouts happen on the ground. But they weren't really knockouts. Okay? Yes, it says on SureDog and it says on Wikipedia, it says a knockout, but it wasn't really a knockout. It was a case of Amanda Nunes. She didn't have the stamina and the cardio back then. And I think everybody who's familiar with MMA, they know that. Okay? Amanda Nunes, she actually got stopped because of exhaustion. It wasn't because she was actually injured. Amanda Nunes was too damn tired to get up off her damn back in both situations. Amanda Nunes, she's never been knocked out standing. Okay? This is Alexis Davis. Okay? This is Alexis Davis. Okay? The fight, Amanda Nunes back then, she was supposed to fight Chris Cyborg. Okay? Amanda Nunes declined to fight Chris Cyborg years and years ago. And she opted to go fight Alexis Davis. Okay? Amanda Nunes had to come down to 135 because Amanda Nunes, she was a featherweight at the time. She had to go down to 135. And Alexis Davis had to come up to 135. Okay? She had to come up. But anyway, Alexis Davis and Amanda Nunes, they fought, and Alexis Davis got the better of that. And it wasn't because Alexis Davis was just dominating Amanda Nunes, and quite the contrary, Amanda Nunes was actually winning the fight. But Amanda Nunes, she didn't have a gas tank back then. I mean, she didn't have a gas tank at all. So Amanda Nunes, she went in there, she blew her load against Alexis Davis, and Alexis Davis, somehow, she stayed the course. She was able to withstand a very brutal onslaught of Amanda Nunes. I'm talking about Amanda Nunes was beating the hell out of her. But Amanda Nunes got tired. She got taken down. And she wasn't even injured in the fight. It's just Amanda Nunes was too tired to continue. That's what it was. Okay, you can go watch the fights. I mean, you can go do whatever, but that's what happened in that fight. Amanda Nunes, she's never been knocked out on the feet. Never. This is Zingano. Okay. Oh, by the way, Alexis Davis, she is a very, very high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner. She's a black belt. Okay, she's a black belt in BJJ. Alexis Davis, she's not known as a striker. Okay, now you hear the terminology striker in MMA all the time. You hear strikes. Okay, this person is a striker. What that means is that strikes in MMA, it has a completely different meaning than it does in boxing. Because anytime you hit an opponent, that's counted as a strike. Okay, anytime you hit an opponent, that's counted as a strike. Even if you're on the ground, they count those as strikes. Okay? Now, you can say certain people, they can strike well in the open. So you're referring to a person that can stand. They can strike well in the open. They can strike well in mid-range. Okay, so that's equivalent to, a boxer that can fight at range or a boxer that can fight in mid-range. Well, you have people that are strikers. They can fight in range, they can fight in mid-range, they can fight in close quarters. Okay? You have people that are non-strikers. that their whole game is to get you to the ground. Okay, I mean, you have people in MMA that they're not good at strikers. Alexis Davis isn't a great striker. If you go watch that fight, I mean, really and truly, Amanda Nunes was actually winning the fight. Okay, now this Cat Zingano, she's not a striker. Okay, Alpha Cat Zingano, she's not a striker. Her background, she has a base in wrestling. Okay, that's Cat Zingano's bread and butter is wrestling. Amanda Nunes gave Cat Zingano a concussion, and this is what started the health problems for Alpha Cat Zingano. Amanda Nunes she was winning and she was dominating that fight. She was winning the fight. But Amanda Nunes, back then, this was about 6-7 years ago, Amanda would go in there and blow her load, on these fighters, and she beat Cat down. I'm talking about beat her down. But Amanda, she couldn't continue. She literally was sitting there trying to fight for air. It wasn't because Cat was just beating Amanda that bad. It's just that Amanda, her ass couldn't breathe. And then Cat was able to pick Amanda Nunes off of her damn feet. Okay? And I want y'all, BFTV, I want you to get a visual of this. She picked Amanda Nunes off of her damn feet. Gave Amanda, like, this damn version of the belly to bat suplex. I'm talking about, she literally lifted Amanda Nunes off her damn feet. Okay? It's funny when you look at the fight, though. It is. But that wasn't what ended the fight. Amanda Nunes was too exhausted. I mean, you can watch the fight. Literally, Amanda Nunes had no cardio back then. Zero. Okay, and I bring all this up because, yes, on SureDog and on Wikipedia, it'll say knockout. But she wasn't knocked out cold. She wasn't stopped in her tracks. Nobody's there. The closest person to ever do that to Amanda Nunes was Jermaine Durandame. And I'll tell you, Jermaine Durandame probably got the best hands in MMA. Okay? And I'll put Jermaine's hands up against anybody, and she's going to be competitive. Okay? Jermaine Durandame got the best hands in MMA. And Amanda Nunes got caught on the chin by Jermaine Durandame and damn near got knocked out. But she's never been knocked cold out. She's never been knocked out. Okay? She's never been stopped. And you even look at how she handled Jermaine Durandame. How she handled Jermaine. Okay? It's crazy how Amanda came up with plan A and plan C, and then she easily dominated that fight. So now, I bring this all up because, there are different ways to end a fight in MMA. There are different ways to get a knockout. Okay? You can get a knockout standing. You can get a knockout on the ground. You can get a knockout against the cage. There are different ways. So Alexis Davis and Cat Zingano, yes, says TKO, but Amanda couldn't breathe. That's it. That's how she lost. She lost on the ground. She didn't lose these fights standing. You can go check the fights. She didn't. Now, I want to talk about Holly Holm, okay? And I want to talk to the Zulu Fight Channel, okay? So you left a comment, very good comment, welcome to come on the channel and debate anytime you want to. You left this comment and you said, hey, you understand, MMA and boxing is different. And I'm just kind of summing up what you said. But you did say that the people that I'm talking about, I can't compare them to the level of Carissa Shields. Okay, well, I disagree. I can't. You see, Holly Holm, I'm going to tell you the story of Holly Holm. I'm going to tell you the whole story. Okay, so there's no misunderstanding. And then I'm going to tell you exactly what they said about Carissa Shields, some of the fighters in the Winklejohn gym, about Carissa's training. See, sometimes what stays in the gym don't stay in the gym. And you want to know how I know this information? Because I'm friends with 3 of the fighters that work out in the gym with Holly Holm. So, okay, we'll talk about that later. Let's get to talking. Okay, so Holly Holm, she came into the Jackson Winklejohn gym. Okay? Mike Winklejohn, our coach, immediately knew that Holly Holm could be, very good. Could be a very talented fighter. Holly Holm has an extreme amount of athleticism, okay? Her athleticism is that good. Even Holly Holm in her past did gymnastics. But, Mike Winklejohn knew that Holly Holm could be a very good fighter. And so Mike Winklejohn's goal, and I'm going to give you a time frame. I'm going to give you an exact time frame of why I'm telling you that Holly Holm has had success in MMA, okay? Back in 2001, Now think, this is a long time ago, in 2001. Well, she actually got to the gym like back in what, 1999, 2000, okay? And Holly Holm started training kickboxing. Right, she was a kickboxer before she was ever a boxer. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that Holly Holm just, she boxed and then, she went to MMA. No, that's not what happened. Holly Holm was a kickboxer. But she still trained in boxing. So she had already had kickboxing bouts even before she had her first boxing bout. But Holly Holm in 2003, she decided that, hey, I want to box. Because there are more opportunities in boxing than it is in kickboxing. The same thing with Jarrell Big Baby Miller, okay? And we'll talk about him later in this video. Holly Holm left, she wanted out of kickboxing because there was just more opportunities in boxing. However, Mike Winkeljohn knew that he wanted Holly Holm to eventually to transition into MMA. Now, I want you to get these time frames. This is back 2000. Okay, then in 2001, she started her training. Okay, in 2002, she had her first kickboxing matchup. In 2003, she had her first boxing fight. Okay, all of these things came in progression. See, Holly Holm just didn't box for a little bit. Okay, and then, all of a sudden, she became an MMA fighter. That's not what happened, okay? Holly Holm was trained first in kickboxing. There was a progression, okay? Then Mike Winkeljohn taught Holly Holm how to use her hands, okay? After Holly Holm had learned a variety of kicks, because he knew that she would need these kicks in MMA, okay? Holly Holm is probably one of the most dangerous kickers in WMMA. By far, her and Sabina Mazo got like crazy highlight reel knockouts, okay, with head kicks. So Holly Holm has perfected that move, and it works. He knew that, that she was going to be doing MMA, okay? And kickboxing is a very good skill to know if you're going to be in MMA. I would say Muay Thai, to me, is the better skill set. But, either way, kickboxing or Muay Thai, you still get a good base for actually being able to defend leg kicks. And a lot of fighters, when they know you're a boxer, they're going to kick your legs from underneath you, okay? She did all of that. Okay, then Holly Holm just, started boxing. Okay, she just started boxing, and, she fought, she was 33 and like 5. Okay, she was 33 and 3, and she had like 2 draws, okay? So she was an accomplished boxer. So Zulu, yeah, Holly Holm was accomplished. Okay, at the time when she went into MMA, she was an accomplished boxer. At 28 years old, okay, Holly Holm had her first amateur fight in mixed martial arts. Now, during that time, okay, from 2002 to 2010, Holly Holm had been trained in jiu-jitsu. She had been trained, she had been learning how to wrestle, okay? Coach Frida's her jiu-jitsu coach, was teaching her. He was teaching her jiu-jitsu. And, at the time, Holly Holm had been a white belt for a long time. About 5 years ago, Holly Holm got her blue belt. But she had been learning jiu-jitsu during that time, okay? For about an 8-year period, Holly Holm was learning how to wrestle in jiu-jitsu. And guys, all of that time, Holly Holm still isn't a high-level wrestler or a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner. She's still not there yet. She's gotten better. I mean, now look, Holly Holm is damn near 11 years, over 11 years, y'all, into her career. She's over 11 years in her career from when she first took her MMA bout, and now Holly Holm is able to wrestle and use jiu-jitsu. Do you understand the time frame? Okay, Holly Holm was introduced, okay, into kickboxing in 2000, 1999, 2000, okay? She started kickboxing, okay, for about 2 years. And then in 2002, 2003, she had her first boxing match. During that time, Holly Holm had been training. Okay, look, we're talking about 2002 to 2003. Folks, that was 18 plus years ago. And Holly Holm was training those things because Mike Winkeljohn knew that Holly Holm was going to be doing MMA. Guys, for almost 2 decades, Holly Holm has been wrestling, doing takedown defense, okay, doing jiu-jitsu. And she's still a blue belt. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? You can't just learn how to wrestle in a year. And y'all think that, Clarissa's athletic. There's a lot of athletic women in MMA. There's some women in MMA who are more athletic than Clarissa Shields. I'm not saying they box better than Shields, but hell, it's a lot of fighters in MMA that are a lot more athletic than Clarissa Shields. And they can't even stop takedowns. And they've been wrestling for years. I'm just saying, we can compare Holly Holm. She was a boxer. She's one of the few people who boxed that's had success in an octagon. She's 14-5. That's astronomical for a boxer, for somebody, okay, who was always considered one-dimensional. Now, she's starting to get the rest of her game together. At age 39, Holly Holm is starting to be well-rounded. At 39. This girl started MMA, mixed martial arts, at the age when she was 28. So that whole narrative that, it ain't been no boxers on the athletic level of Carissa Shields to make it, Holly Holm is athletic. She was a gymnast. Holly Holm started out in gymnastics. How do you explain that? If a gymnast not athletic, then who is? If a gymnast isn't athletic, then who is? Oh, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell you something too, Zulu. Okay? Holly Holm put Carissa Shields in a tie clinch. Yeah. Carissa Shields didn't know how to get out of that. Now, she's learning how to get out of that. Carissa Shields didn't know how to get out of a tie clinch. Do you understand that Holly Holm isn't even the best tie clincher in the game? Do you understand that? You understand Holly Holm is not the best person, it's not the best tie clincher. She sparred. Even Carissa herself said that it's different. It's totally different. It's a radical departure from being in a boxing ring. In one arena, one person is going to thrive. In another arena, another person is going to thrive. In a boxing ring, Carissa Shields is going to swim. In an octagon, she's going to drown. She's going to drown right now. Right now, Carissa Shields in the octagon is going to drown. See, I think the thing that you boxing fans, you guys are not understanding, is that there's a time thing that comes with MMA. You just don't do it. You're not going to go somewhere. You're not going to go somewhere and just, learn how to wrestle for a year. That's not happening, y'all. I don't care what anybody tell you. You're not going anywhere. I've been wrestling, I wrestled for over 10 years. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay? You're going to have to get at least, okay, to even be effective in MMA as a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu practitioner. You're going to have to be in the game consistent for at least 7 years to even be effective. To even be effective, you're going to have to be in a game for at least that long. That's just what it is. MMA, to really respectfully learn the components of MMA in a time that, it's time, y'all. It's time sensitive. It is time sensitive. Okay? You're going to have to put time in. There's no way around it. You're not going to come in from boxing and then immediately go and dominate the top 5 female MMA fighters in the world. You're not going to do that. Now, could Carissa Shields go in there and beat somebody who they got limited takedown skills and they're just going to try to kickbox with you? Yeah, she probably could. She probably could. Okay? If she can take them kicks. If Carissa Shields can see the kicks coming. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay? Probably. But the opponent got to be real low level. I'm talking about they got to have little to no skill set in Carissa Shields' first fight. And they got those people out there. I'm not saying that they don't have people Carissa Shields can beat. They do. Okay, and Carissa Shields need to work her way up the ladder. Fight opponents that are not great, because it's not a good idea to be having this talk, in about 2 years, I'll be ready to fight Amanda. She's going to get murdered in the octagon if she fights Amanda in 2 years. She's going to get murdered. There are people in MMA that Carissa Shields could beat. Sure. Just don't look in the top 5 MMA fighters in the world, because she ain't beating them. Because if you're in the top 5, you have been doing this for damn near decades, since you was in your early teens. Most of these fighters, they've been doing, like Carissa been boxing for as long as she can remember. Most of these people have been doing jiu-jitsu since they were kids, wrestling since they were kids. Okay, most of these people have been doing it. And I don't get it. Like, Carissa's going to hit this person and, before they take me down, I got to hit them. You know that Amanda Nunes has been dealing with powerful strikers? Do you know she's been dealing with these people for damn near her whole career? She's been dealing with people that know how to throw punches and hit her in the head. She's been knowing how to throw kicks at her. I'm going to tell you, Jermaine Durandame is the best striker, the best puncher in the game. She got the best hands in MMA. Hands down. What did Amanda do? What did Amanda do to actually go around that? Think about it. What did Amanda do? Your stance is different in MMA. It's different. You can't come into the octagon with a boxing stance. Your legs are going to get destroyed. Carissa even said it's different. If she come in there and try to box, stick and move, it's not going to work. She going for the ride. Okay, and you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to end this video off with this, okay? There are some fighters who I definitely think would thrive in MMA. Okay, one being Bud Crawford, and I know y'all can't believe that. Bud Crawford could. Bud Crawford is an accomplished wrestler. And Bud Crawford been wrestling, man, for like 15, 16 years of his life. Jarrell Big Baby Miller was a kickboxer. Hell, Jarrell Big Baby Miller was dominant in kickboxing. He was dominant, but of course, in 2014, he got popped. So that pretty much ended, you know, kickboxing for him. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller was a good kickboxer. He can make it in MMA. He actually could transition over. But there's few. It's few of them that can do that. Okay? Vasily Lomachenko is an accomplished wrestler. He's an accomplished wrestler. A lot of people don't know that. But it is what it is, guys. You know, I hope that I broke this down enough, okay, to really you get a visual of what happened to Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm being a high-level striker, a high-level boxer, and then having success in the sport.